At the underpass into the city, the Nazis have set up a barricade consisting of disabled streetcars and heavy iron beams. E and A companies of the 36th Armored Infantry Regiment are first to reach this roadblock, and they rapidly remove its many components. A tank dozer is utilized to pull out the streetcars blocking the underpass. In 45 minutes, the barrier has been removed, and armor rolls into the city proper. The Germans are holding out in various strong points and bomb-shattered buildings. Most of the opposition comes from regular troops. Our units report no house-to-house resistance by the Volksturm. The enemy is pursued from street to street. Those attempting to flee in motor cars are repeatedly fired upon. Snipers are routed from their positions. Our new T-26 heavy tank in action. T-26 moves up to within the shadow of the cathedral to counter enemy tank fire. A direct hit, and the Nazi crew leaps from the flaming tank. Concussion rocks the handheld camera with its telephoto lens. Nearby, the shell of the cathedral is still standing, almost intact except for holes in the roof. The edifice received no direct bomb hits in approximately 25 all-out raids on Cologne. Inside, the 700-year-old cathedral is bare, its religious relics having been removed to places of safety. Meanwhile, on the left flank, other First Army troops are reaching the Rhine at Bonn, Germany, 15.5 miles south of Cologne. Elements of the 16th Regiment, 1st Infantry Division, moved toward the city on 7th March. Bonn had a pre-war population of 100,000. The enemy barely had time to blow up the span across the Rhine. 2 Nazi engineers were trapped on the bridge after placing the charge. Even as the 1st Division takes Bonn, the 9th Division, which has been fighting at its side through 2 years of far-flung campaigning, smashes into Bad Godesberg. This city, 12 miles south of Bonn, is captured on the morning of 8th March. Godesberg's normal population was 23,000. In 1938, Hitler and Neville Chamberlain met in this building prior to the Munich conference at which the dismemberment of Czechoslovakia was formally ratified. Coming out of Godesberg's underground city hall, Lieutenant General Richard Schimpf, commander of the Nazi 3rd Parachute Division, poses with his captors. In surrendering himself and his staff, General Schimpf said there were no more Germans this side of the Rhine. Establishing the Remagen Bridge head, vehicles in long line move up to the span named after General Ludendorff. Nazi plans called for the demolition of this bridge between Remagen on the west bank and Erpel on the east. But on 7th March, 9th Armored Division patrols removed the charges before serious damage could be done, and we had a bridge intact over the Rhine. Tanks and infantry crossed to capture Erpel and surrounding high ground before pushing on inland. The bridge's railroad tracks have been planked over for vehicular traffic. Reichsmark opposes persistent enemy attempts to dive bomb the Ludendorff Bridge. Despite these attacks, the bridgehead rapidly expands. This marks the first breaching of the Rhine River line since Napoleon crossed in 1805. The Ludendorff is supplemented by a ponton bridge, which units of the 991st Engineers, 1st Army are shown constructing on 9th March. This bridge, to be augmented by several additional spans strung across the Rhine at Remagen, gradually absorbs the brunt of traffic. The new bridges begin carrying the full load following the collapse of the weakened Ludendorff Bridge 10 days after its seizure. At this point, the 1st Army has broadened its bridgehead to 14 miles east of the Rhine. "50 miles north of the Remagen bridgehead, air and ground assaults mark the 9th Army's drive to the Rhine opposite Duesseldorf. The tank of the 2nd Armored Division opens fire. Lieutenant General Simpson's troops drive closer to the remainder of Field Marshal Montgomery's 21st Army Group, the British 2nd Army and the Canadian 1st. Striking from the Neuss area, where 3 bridges have been blown, the 9th Army gains control of the 13 miles of the Rhine's west bank. Firing on enemy barges in the Rhine before Duesseldorf. In the meantime, the 35th Infantry Division, after taking the town of Geltern, Germany, moves forward to make contact with British units advancing down from the north. Men of the 35th 134th Regiment meet Tommies of the 244th Field Company, 53rd Welsh Division. Bicycles are used by elements of the 84th Infantry Division along roads opposite Duisburg. The two-wheelers are abandoned as they strike out across somewhat rugged Rhineland terrain. A combined Anglo-American drive further north is reducing the enemy's west bank bridgehead opposite Wesel, paving the way for new Rhine crossings north of the Ruhr. Tanks participate in the routing of last enemy forces fleeing to the east bank. Battle for the town of Gainet, due west of Duisburg. Less than 3 weeks after this action, the 21st Army Group is across the northern Rhine.